Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel Scum.
Boom. Rebel Scum.
The Rebelist.
Welcome to the Rebel Scum Podcast. I'm Brock. This is
James.
Boom.
James.
Episode 318. Let's just point at each other.
If I reach over across the screen, like what if my hand came through on the other side? We're not good at this. You have to get rehanded.
Oh, what a visual hit for an audio medium / why are you watching us on YouTube?
318 of these things.
Boom. What a time. We're in a post Acolyte trailer world. Life is different.
You want to know what's wild about the Acolyte trailer, Brock? Is I didn't realize how badly people wanted this trailer. Like people were like, "Oh, when are we gonna get it?" I didn't realize it until like it was. I'm like, but the thing is, I'm talking about like Star Wars. Like you're gonna watch the show, and we all want to see what it is. But I mean, I first said this last week. I'm fine if you just like throw it on and I get to watch episode 1. I'm fine with that. You don't need to convince me to watch your Acolyte show. I'm probably gonna watch it, and whether or not I like it, that's up to the show. But I mean, you don't have my money. You'll have me when the time comes. It's like I'm there for you. But it's just weird how people are like, I need the trailer. Why? I don't understand. I don't know. It was a brand new. If someone was like, yo man, the new, Spielberg movie is supposed to be amazing, I'd be like, okay, show me what it is. But I don't know. Unless the new Spielberg movie is Star Wars, then I don't need anything.
Yeah.
People, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I said last week it was fun. That was like, here's the poster. You get a trailer tomorrow. I'm like,
great,
oh, cool, very cool. Like, but it's like I don't want to get inundated in content, right? But like as we know here, the rule is it's not real till you get a trailer. So now it's real.
Absolutely. I loved what they did. Like the trailer and. I mean, the poster and then the trailer was great, but wouldn't it be better if they were like, here's the poster, and tomorrow, episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, fair.
You're like, what? Like, I think this is okay. I do have a question though, and I don't know if you'd have an answer for this. I don't know who would. But if you're streaming something like Netflix, for instance, if Netflix is going to put out a trailer for Stranger Things season, whatever season they're on, right? And we're all going to be very excited about it. But do they even need to do that crap? Like, could they just not finish the show and put it on Netflix? And then you're gonna log on Netflix, and they're gonna be like, "Guess what's here, Brock? It's Stranger Things." Like, because they like, and same with Disney is like they already have us. Just if you just throw it out like a trailer for something, it's gonna get us hyped, sure, but we're still gonna watch it. It's still gonna be streaming. Now I know they want because I don't know if you saw, but I think. Was it the show that you mentioned last week and X-Men? Like their numbers have been like crazy for the amount of views. I guess they want that. They want like the first like 48 hours of views to be like bazillions. So maybe that's what it is. But I just feel like if you go on Netflix right now and they want you to watch their show, you're not gonna have a choice. Like you turn it on, that's what they're gonna like. I went on yesterday. We usually use Aaron. Aaron watches it more, but we used my account yesterday. And they showed me something. I'm like, what the frick? I didn't even know what it was. But that was kind of cool. I'm like, I'm fine with not knowing what this is. But they shoved it in my face quite a bit. Like every page I went to, they're like, this is what I'm like. That's not what I'm going to watch. I want to watch something boring. Stop putting explosions in my face. But they do that. Like these streaming services have that power. Disney, I don't think that doesn't do it as well. I don't think though.
No, it's interesting. Like I don't know what they call it. Like the main page, the headlining, the above the crease, like in newspaper terms, like that thing that grabs you. Netflix definitely there's something different about theirs because Prime doesn't really grab. I mean, it's like the obvious ones show up there, but I think a lot of people try more things when they look at like either it's the main banner on your Netflix when you turn it on, or it's like the bunch at the bottom. It's interesting. Do you watch Netflix solely on your TV or do you watch it on your phone
Oh,
ever?
only the TV. I don't watch Netflix. The only things I watch on my phone are things that I own.
Yeah.
Brock, I grew up in the 80s and 90s where I
Mm-hmm.
had a 13-inch TV, and I played my Nintendo on there, and I watched
Yeah.
movies on this 13-inch TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not go. I earned a 55-inch TV, Brock. I earned
Mm-hmm.
it for all the years of using my parents' tube TV, and so I'm.
Yeah.
No, I just
So
don't.
like
I
on the
just don't watch
phone, on the phone, sometimes it like I don't know if this is just my experience, but occasionally like because I don't have a TV in my bedroom, so if I'm awake and I don't want to, if I want to watch something, I'll just watch it on my phone. Or I'm always an early riser. I watched Bad Batch yesterday morning while sleeping on my side, looking on my phone. Sometimes I find when you sign in, it gives you the like try this thing. It's a slightly different, and it gets kind of annoying because it's like, well, where's the ones that like, where's my previously watched? That's on another page. But yeah, Netflix does it really well. Disney Plus, it's like I don't have a preference on it because they give me the shows that I'm looking for right away anyways. Like I'm pro Disney Plus. I'm very interested in anything they're putting out. Like this week is like I watched Shogun on Tuesday, I watched X-Men 97 this morning. This morning? Is today Wednesday? Yes. And Bad Batch right after. It's like I'm sure there's probably something else I'm watching, but it's just like I would argue that like in Canada we don't have the Hulu function on Disney Plus. We have Star. Like when you go to the Star specific page, there's not even anything on. Like Marvel and Star Wars and I guess Disney have a similar its own main page to the actual main page of Disney Plus. But yeah, it is interesting. Like it's like I feel like Netflix has figured out a way, and I'm sure we could look up an article and be like, "This is how much we get people choosing just because of what's on their main page." And I would argue, I don't know how true this is. I feel like it caters to what your particular algorithm because when I've looked at mine on my profile for Netflix, it's different from what my wife has.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously the big ticket ones are usually the same. So it's interesting because, like, yeah, I feel like you get a lot of people in, but then at the same note, but then I don't have conventional television, so I have never seen a Disney Plus commercial on TV. Do they exist?
Yeah, they do, but they're generic. They're not show specific, right?
They're like
get this on Disney
selling.
Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
like
at Christmas and New Year's, it was like get 3 months for. I
yeah,
think it is
yeah.
now. It's 3 months for $1 or $1.99, whatever it is. Yeah, they do that, but I mean, I'm surprised TV wants them to advertise. Anyway, today we'll talk about Disney Plus and Star Wars on Disney Plus because I do think though, like Netflix, because yeah, Netflix does that where they I mean, my Netflix viewing is so strange that I don't think they know what to put on mine. So they put that one thing on, but like, it's so smart. They know, I mean, that's how they make half of their shows and movies, right? It's based on what have you all been watching? Oh, right. And they take all the information and they put it all together. And that's it. But Disney doesn't really want to, like, Disney's just like, you're here. We know you're here. Have a good time. And I just wonder if it would benefit some of their I don't know what other programs do they have though other than Star Wars and Marvel that they really produce for like original content. Now that Hulu's joined, there'll probably be more. But like I like what original content do they really have? Like Disney Plus on its own, do they really have that's just Disney Plus that kind of keeps average everyday average Joes on Disney Plus? Like, do they have anything other than those two?
There's gotta be a few things, although it's weird. Like it's like I remember. I don't know. Like the Jeff Goldblum show, like that did well enough for 2 seasons, but now it's completely stricken from the records because it's like it went away like how Willow went away too. It's just like
did they delete it?
I believe so. That's what I've been told.
Wow.
That being said, I haven't hunted, so I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's just like I heard that that's gone. Just trying to think. There's got to be something. It's just like and like we're a bad reference because we're just thinking about Marvel and Star Wars. But like, there's probably a few things that aren't on our radar. But yeah, it's their main ticket thing. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a Disney Plus like just selling the service commercial. So I don't know what they're selling out. That isn't Mandalorian or what's their biggest.
I think it's Star Wars, Marvel, and like Moana.
Yeah.
It's like it's always Moana. I feel like, but it's like that's it. It's like the Disney cartoons that and then we have Star Wars and we have Marvel come through. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum shows was pulled last May. That is so. To me, it's wild that you would have. They're like to cut costs, which I understand, but I also don't like. That show could not have cost that much money to make, and if it did, somebody really screwed up. Because reality shows are cheap. That's why they exist, right? Because they cost nothing to make compared to scripted thing. So Willow, on one hand, I still don't understand how it's done, but Willow, on one hand, it didn't do well, and they're like, this isn't doing well. We have to get rid of it. That makes sense to me. But the Goldblum thing, you've got 2 seasons of a cheap show. Like, were you paying Jeff Goldblum like $1 billion every time somebody watched it? Like, I don't understand how that. I don't understand the whole. I don't really like the removing of things, but at the same time, it's theirs to remove. It's better than Warner Brothers just not releasing something. But I mean, they have it, and if the Willow show cost X amount of dollars to keep on their site, and people weren't watching enough to justify that money, that's how I got. But I would argue to that point, though, Brock, that is when either physical media or the iTunes store or something, a digital platform, when you're able to buy it so that individuals can buy it. Because I still you got to think that there would be a market for somebody to buy a series like Willow somewhere.
Yeah, it's wild. Oh, here you go. I looked it up. Disney Plus original content, and we are right. It's Mandalorian is number 1. I think it's in order of release. But like the first, like the dramas, it's all Star Wars and Marvel, except for one, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which I watched.
Just came out, and that's new too. Yeah.
And it did well. I think it's gotten renewed.
Yeah.
High School Musical, the series. That one is definitely a very popular one.
Is it still around though?
I think it might. Yeah, it's done, but they did 4 seasons, which is only apparently. But it says, wait, okay, hold on. They put a season. Yeah, it's 38 episodes, so it's like nothing special when you think of like the old, because like
it's like a season in a week.
Yeah, Mandalorian is 3 seasons. It's only 24 episodes, right? Like, and then the only thing else, I think this Doogie Kamehameha Aloha was popular, but it was only 2 seasons.
I think I got canceled. Did they erase that one too?
Yeah, it's wild when you look at it. Like, there's a lot of it doesn't say canceled, it just says ended. Or for American Born Chinese, I thought was. Oh no, I'm thinking
that got canceled.
Yeah, that got canceled. But am I thinking of the one that just got canceled or another one? Yeah, that was the one that people are shocked it got canceled. But yeah,
I don't understand how when something gets canceled and people are shocked that that doesn't compute with me, because if you're shocked that it's canceled, that means people watched it, so it shouldn't be canceled, or you didn't watch it, but you're like it doesn't. Something is not jiving there. Either people are lying about being shocked, or Disney screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
And they might have screwed the pooch because they've done that a lot in the last little while.
It says here that the Beatles Get Back documentary is a Disney Plus thing. Is it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Oh. Oh, there you go. There's one thing. But yeah, they like if anything, it proves that they lean on those two IPs for sure.
I would say too heavily almost. They need to get out there and make a freaking Mater series.
Yeah, honestly, like, why aren't we doing another Simpsons movie? Like,
and we were just talking about the Olaf shorts they did during COVID. Just do more of those. Like, obviously, Josh Gad will just sit on his couch and record audio into his phone and send it to an animator.
I want to say one thing that Disney Plus does right that I can't think of a comparison that Netflix does, but I love at Christmas, at Halloween, I think at Valentine's Day, like certain seasons or certain themes come up, like all the Simpsons Christmases, all the Simpsons, like all the specific Christmas or Halloween episodes of different shows that are on there. Pretty fun. And then when like Ahsoka came out, I think you could like, you want to catch up on all the important Ahsoka things? Here you go. Like stuff like that. That makes sense, and I think they should push that like even harder, honestly. And I think we've said it before. It's like release the trailer and put it on your main page. Like make it the first jump off point, because I don't know how successful it is, but like if you tell me a trailer for like that exciting new show that everyone's looking forward only on Disney Plus first, you might get people to watch it specifically, right? I mean, it'll be on YouTube within moments, but like, you know what I mean? Like, give that exclusivity. It might work. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of marketing that's like, it doesn't work as much as you think it would. But Disney Plus, I feel like, took a little bit more chances with like those small, like we were just watching The Spider Within, which is like the release of, or like that side thing for Into the Spider-Verse. Right? And stuff like that, featurettes, or whatever you want to call it. They do that on occasion, but they don't do it enough. I think...
Would you...
Go ahead.
No, go on.
I think like the closest thing Netflix has done is all those small... I don't know what you would call them that Wes Anderson did. Which I don't know.
Shorts,
the shorts. Are they Netflix exclusives?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just on Netflix, yeah. I like them. They're really simple. The one that won the Oscar is the most complex. It's the longest one. It's like twice as long as the rest. They're all short, and it's just actors talking quickly to the camera, like very Wes Anderson. It's like Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson. But what did you think of the Spider Within? For people that don't know, that's the Spider-Verse short that came out on the YouTubers today.
Thought it was fun. I thought it was a great idea, and it's like, I think I said to you, it's like, they could just make whatever. Like, there is dialogue from Shamik Moore and Brian Tyree. I always forget his second name or third name or whatever. It'll come to me later. They're just doing the voices of their characters, but there's not a ton of dialogue. Like, they might have been in there. I wonder if, like, they recorded it when they were doing one of the past movies or doing the next movie coming up. And they're like, we can just shoot this out and, like, animate it. Like, I'd be interested to see about that. Funny enough,
one of those shorts.
Funny enough, I've been watching that new Kristen Wiig show from Apple TV, Palm Royale, and at the end of everything, I think of you because one of the like credit cards at the end of the end credits of the show is Inkshares, the very same website that published Cape Side Bay. And I'm like, Inkshares?
It might have been an Inkshares book it's based off of.
It must be. It has to be. Like, I was just like, wow, that's interesting. So, I don't know. I think it's like, I think all the, like, these streamers are doing more things and more the things that are coming out. Like, there was something Apple, I feel like I watched it as a movie in a theater, and I was like, Apple TV? It's like, it's weird, like when we used to watch those MTV produced movies, and you're like, MTV.
Oh, I MTV movies. Remember that was Joe? What was it? Joe's Apartment
Yeah.
with Jerry O'Connell and the cockroaches. That's the only one I can think of, other than obviously the Jackass movies was MTV.
Yeah, I know there's a bunch.
There was a whole decade, I would say, of MTV movies. I think Joe's Apartment was the first one though, or whatever it was. Was that what it was called? Joe's Apartment?
Yeah, with Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, it's from Sliders or My Secret Identity.
My Secret Identity.
My Secret.
You'll never guess my secret identity.
What a time. My Secret. That was like the first superhero live action show though. Was that like a knockoff on? Now that I'm thinking of it, like Back to the Future. Do you think they were ripping off Back to the Future with that one?
Yeah, maybe. It's a
It
young
was like
boy.
Doc.
Yeah. A young boy hangs out with a middle-aged man.
Yeah, My Secret Identity. Hold on, that was a show. I always thought it was Canadian, but I don't think it actually was.
Yeah, maybe it was shot in
though.
Vancouver.
It definitely felt Canadian. That's what...
Like the guy that played the professor, I feel like I've seen on like some Canadian produced things. Like I don't know.
Oh, probably. He probably just stayed here. They probably did their taping in like Vancouver or wherever they did it, and then they were like, "Okay, we're heading out to. I'm just gonna stay here. I'm moving here forever." All
They're
right.
like, let's get the fat kid from Stand By Me. He lost weight. Oh no,
he's not fat. No.
Oh my god. Yeah. You'll never guess my secret identity. Who's on the inside looking out?
All right, let's talk about Disney Plus Star Wars. What we think they've done right, and what we think they failed miserably at. And I think they failed miserably at Star Wars on every level. We haven't got any Harrison Ford in it at all. I think for the most, somebody argued though, like Disney's gonna ruin the whatever the next movie is. And I was like, yeah. But like you think about it, their track record. If you think about the actual track record of what they've done, I would argue that it's been more successful than not.
Oh yeah.
Even if you include all of the announcements that haven't come to fruition, I still feel like they're more successful than they have been. They've had some blunders, they've had some missteps. Like I think for me, Brock, the biggest failure of it was just how they handled Ahsoka, the show, in that it just stopped existing without an announcement. Now apparently they're shooting season 2, but it still hasn't been even officially announced, other than in that Mando and Grogu thing. Like it's kind of like, if you're gonna end a show like that, you've got to say, hey, this is season 1 of a multi-season show. That's just like how a lot of streaming is going now. But I think like you can't just have something like that happen with a show of that magnitude. Like that's the one drawback, I think. And I think since like Mando season 1 and 2, even Andor felt more complete, right? Like his Andor's arc kind of ended, and then it was like, okay, now let's go off to our next adventure. So it was still like you still had a satisfying conclusion to that story. And I just feel like Mando season 3 had an ending, but like it just felt like Ahsoka just kind of, and I'm really fearful that Acolyte's going to go in that direction, because they're saying now we're open for a second season. We might do it. It's like, man, just tell them you're doing season 2 of the Acolyte. If you don't like it, then Iger's just going to hide this thing from us anyway.
Yeah. It's like, just end the last episode. It's like they do with movies where it's like Captain America will return and da-da-da-da. But then if it doesn't happen, just go in and just slice that frame off and you're done. Don't put it on music. It's just slice it off. Who cares? Yeah, I mean, you can't really say it isn't successful if like all they've been putting their work into is what Star Wars content for the streaming, unless the streaming platform is doing terrible, which my freaking TV has a Disney Plus button on it, and it's relatively new, like, or like, you know, it wasn't made last week, so it's like it must be doing okay. It's enough to be like, it's either this, it's of the 3 buttons that they put on there. Or I don't know. Maybe I have no idea, and Disney's paying big money to be the second button for your like go-to streamers on a LG TV remote.
They might be. No, I don't think they are. I think it's on the Fire Stick. Also has them on there, and I think there's a few others that do it.
There he is. One day I'm gonna marry Rebecca Romaine.
I'm gonna host a talk.
Oh man.
No, I think. No, I lost my train of thought from what you're saying about. What were you
Disney
saying?
Plus, the remote, the buttons for
Yeah, I
Disney
know it's on the
Plus.
Fire Stick. It's on the Fire Stick, and I think it's on a few other things. It's just, yeah, it's a big deal. It's one of the big boys when it comes to streaming. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think them Prime. Who would it be? Them and Prime. Netflix is like Netflix doesn't count. They're like the creme de la creme, right? Like Netflix is what you say when you're watching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Netflix. I'm gonna watch Netflix tonight. It's like grabbing a Kleenex. We don't even have Kleenex in Canada, but we still call it a Kleenex.
Yeah. And it's like HBO's never been in that slot. It's like it was Netflix and like Roku for the longest time on Roku controllers. But like, I don't know, in a couple of years, like, will Apple Plus take a spot? Will Peacock take a spot? Paramount Plus is part of Prime, so
no, it's not. I think that's here. That's like a separate. But Paramount's gonna join with something though. I think at some point they're all gonna they're all gonna be bundled up, and we'll get one stream. Well, one thing I like about your TV probably does this, but what I like about the Fire Stick is it kind of like on the home screen, it kind of like just kind of puts everything together, so you don't even know where it's coming from, and you're just like, well, I guess I'll watch that thing. You don't subscribe to that sucker. I'm like,
yeah.
So it kind of, Apple does that too on their screen, but Fire Stick was the first one I remember. Like, it was like in my face. It's like, here's what you want to watch. I'm like, that is what I want to watch. How did you know? How does this one streaming service have all of it? It's like, it doesn't. You have to subscribe to several of them.
And then Google TV will somehow put Andrew Fantasia's face on my TV, and I'll be like, what the? I'm like, oh, it's us, because it pushes YouTube harder than anything else. Yeah, like, why isn't YouTube a button on the thing? Like, it is weird that, like, YouTube is very consumable on a TV. When you put it, I'm like, this is like just watching TV. And it's like, yes, Brock, it is.
YouTube is a weird one, because it's like, you're right, but it's not considered a stream. It's not a streamer though. It's like it is. I mean, but it is though, because that's what you're technically doing.
Yeah,
it's streaming, but it's not. It's like it's weird. It's its own. YouTube is its own category where we can be on it. We're not on Netflix doing this.
Yeah.
But Netflix, if you want to pay us the big bucks, we'll show up. We got 2 viewers right now. We can bring them over. Woo! We will bring them with us. Dale, you coming? Dale, coming?
Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me?
Heidi on the rewatch. You coming to Netflix? And they're like, no, I will not. All right, I got some blind rankings for you. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to give you 5 amazing Star Wars actors.
Okay.
Only 5. Remember, we have to do this multiple times. So I'm giving you 5. These are Star Wars actors. They are all equally amazing. And you don't know who's coming. You don't know who I'm going to choose, but I've got them all right here. I got to make sure it's 5, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Daisy Ridley.
3.
Ooh, 3. Daisy Ridley. Playing it safe. Mark Hamill. It's crazy because you don't know who else is coming. It was like Jabba the Hutt on here. You don't know. You just don't know.
I'm gonna put him at 1.
Mark Hamill at 1. I mean, I feel like you can't be mad at that, no matter what else is on this list.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, I mean, 2.
Carrie Fisher.
Mark Hamill. Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
I'm gonna put him at 5 just because I feel you're throwing something at me, but
Actually, I'm not.
Nice.
And Ewan McGregor.
No, I'm still happy with that 4. Like it's
Ewan
just sort of
McGregor.
like, yeah, put the two like people that were kind of in the same legacy
Yeah.
Star Wars close together. It makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Dale's
Very
coming
nice.
to Netflix with us. Yes, you got Mark Hamill 1, Carrie Fisher 2, Daisy Ridley 3, McGregor 4, and Liam Neeson on the 5. Liam Neeson recently said that he's too old to play Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, I saw that.
And to which I said, Danny Glover said that in Lethal Weapon 1 and came back for 3 sequels. So are you too old? Are you too old, Mr. Liam Neeson? I have no problem. I have no qualms with this list. I probably would have done Liam Neeson 1, Ewan McGregor 2, Daisy Ridley 3, Carrie Fisher 4. Complete reversal. I'm just joking. It's hard though, because when Mark Hamill's 2, I probably should have hit him further down the list for you, but
Yeah.
you know what? We have to do this a lot of times, and that's proper English. A lot of times, gooder times ahead.
Gooder
So
times.
we'll see if we can get you. All right, let's go to a segment we like to call "Never Tell Me the Odds." Oh, I hit fast forward. There we go.
Of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never Tell Me the Odds. Brought to you, everyone here. Me, James, Dale, and Heidi on the replay. And anyone else that chooses to check out what we do by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do, go to patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast and get that juicy extra content that we try to put out as much as we can. And we greatly appreciate all the support you have as we talk about why James only has Netflix and not Disney Plus. But you need to know, and those people that love to know are Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Dale Erdman, Phil Stanforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Dead and Nerds, Disney Desi, Charlotte Ron Prasek, and Jeff Wilson.
just like I like, yeah, like look at that. Like I feel like half the scenes were just in a backyard somewhere, which makes sense. It was in a neighborhood, but like they could have shot that in like Mississauga, Ontario, or or like Vancouver, BC. Like you have no idea. It could have been in the States for all we know. It could have
Toronto,
been anywhere.
Ontario.
Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, Toronto, Canada. As I choke away. Yeah, they shot it in Canada. The Eastern Commerce Collegiate Institute, 16 Finn Avenue, Toronto, Ontario. Canada, Briarwood High School Interior. So that's from IMDb, which is never wrong. Jerry O'Connell was in Toronto for 3 of his teen years shooting the CTV comedy My Secret Identity. He was cast opposite Second City veteran Derek McGrath, who, as O'Connell points out, is from the northern Ontario town of Porcupine near Timmins. So, yeah.
What? That was a fun sentence.
Wasn't it? All right, never tell me the odds. Thank you, Patreon, for all your support. And maybe Patreon, if we get enough of you, we will reboot My Secret Identity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because we could just shoot it in a backyard, James.
We could.
But
you know what would be awesome? When we get
Yeah.
a cameo from one of the original actors, but we can't get them, so we get Charlie O'Connell to come in. Jerry
Oh my
O'Connell's
God.
brother, right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm
It'll
in.
be phenomenal. Yeah, it'll be a great time. Never tell me the odds. Acolyte will be the most viewed Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Do you think Acolyte can be the most viewed Star Wars show on Disney Plus?
I only want that to happen to make this entire like 30 minutes of what we've been babbling about to have any like importance, because it's like if they can figure out like that is the most viewed Star Wars show on Disney Plus, then like what are those numbers? I think we've asked that question. It's like how well are this like what is ratings in a streaming website? So that to happen, gonna go full Brock because I have no idea. Because it's sort of like I've talked to a few people about this, but like people are like, "Hey, what about that Star Wars thing?" I'm like, "Acolyte." They're like, "No." I'm like, Bad Batch? No, that Rey movie. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like people react differently when they're like, that Star Wars thing. It's like, well, which one are you talking about? So, yeah, I'm going to go full Brock. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't. Hold on.
You never guessed my secret identity. You never guessed my secret identity. Who's on the inside looking out?
You're all in on the thing. And Jerry O'Connell.
We're like a mystery. From down to down, one down the hand.
There he goes. Oh, right in the face.
Banger. Absolute banger.
Now that we've lost our monetization of 16 cents into ruin, I'm gonna go 11%. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I hope maybe like second season, if this one's really good, people will. But I don't think for the first season it will. I think there's this people just want to be negative on it. I think people are going to avoid it for a while. If it ends up being really good, I think people are going to come to it, but it's going to take a while. So I don't think I'm going to go 11% on that one. It would be nice though. Obviously,
there's wiggle room on that one because you're not saying the most viewed Star Wars show in a specific time space. Like perhaps it'll be like
maybe
time.
Yeah. I should have said like in the whatever. I don't even know what's talking about. All right, next one. Andor season 2 will start with K2SO. We're gonna start with everyone's favorite droid K2SO right off the bat.
Oh, that would be great. You know what? When I read this when I was reading the rundown because I read the rundown every time. Ahead of time, but like it made me think of the Spider Within featurette we watched today on YouTube. It's like maybe you just do something like that with K2SO just prior to season 2, and then he's there. You don't have to explain him; he's just there. It might be fun. I don't know, but no, I absolutely. I hope he's in it for sure. 80% I want it to happen. I don't know if that'll but like let's just go 80%.
Yeah, it would be nice if they could start it with him, but I don't know how you get him into the show. I'm not even asking that question, to be honest. Like in all fairness, that's not a concern of mine. I don't have any concerns with this show, frankly. I'm gonna go 37% though. I'm gonna go a little bit lower, 37%, because I think he comes in later. But he's gonna come soon. I think he's gonna come soon, Brock. I think like in that first 3 episode arc, he's gonna show up in that.
Yeah.
Is what I firmly believe. And usually I'm dead on.
Just get him in there. Don't do a ton of time on an origin story. Like just get him in there.
They already had the comic. We don't need an origin story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was shot in Canada. He's got hockey sticks on his sweater. Like they're like, we picked this up at the bay, okay?
He's from Timmins.
Timmins.
Yeah, Timmins. And our final odd, Yaddle will appear in the Accolade. We talked about Yoda. We're gonna get Yaddle though. Is Yaddle showing up in the Accolade? Look, man, do it.
I kind of hope not. Like, just don't confuse viewers. Like, just make it different characters, and then later on, not in the first season, if you're gonna do multiple of the Accolade, I'm just gonna say 5%. And then, but like, not enough people know what Yaddle is to be like. It would be confusing.
Are you saying that people haven't seen the Phantom Menace? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying I'm saying it'll be a Baby Yoda effect where it'll be like Lady Yoda, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's true.
you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
absolutely right. No, you're right. I don't think we're gonna get Yaddle. I don't want to get Yaddle, so I'm gonna go 97%.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna go 3%, 3.7%.
Yeah.
I'll raise it up just to 0.7, maybe 4. Because I think you're right. It would be confusing. It'd be Lady Yoda. It's like I'd buy all the merch. Yay, Lady Yoda, Baby Yoda.
Funny enough, there is a Star Wars book coming out that has nothing to do with High Republic, and it's about you Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in like the prequels era, and the covers is like all the Jedi. I forget what it's called, Light Within, or I think people are interested in it. I heard there was some buzz. I didn't read what it was, but it was just another. But Yaddle's on the cover. Just like, yeah. Like, I looked at it, I was like, that's a cool cover, but it also looks like just reused posters content from the prequel times.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. So
those are our odds. Let us know what your odds are in the comments below. And if you are responsible for that Yaddle cover, let us know what is reused from the prequel era. All right, top 5 time.
Top 5.
I gotta find the graphic. I am so unprepared. I'm looking at my secret identity pictures. I try to turn that off. I am no longer looking at my secret identity pictures because that's ridiculous. Top 5 Disney Plus Star Wars moments. The top 5 moments that Disney Plus has given us for Star Wars. My first one's going to be the Mandalorian. Mine's a two. Mandalorian announcement that they're doing a Mandalorian show for Disney Plus, but also combining that with the reveal of Baby Yoda.
My number 5 is gonna be, I've mentioned it, and it's like I own the only one that really mentions it ever is like the Star Wars biome stuff, like those weird like basically moving like screensavers they would make. I think there was one where they would take you through like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and then there was one biomes where just like, here's Hoth and here's stuff happening. Like, that stuff was cool. I wish they would do more of that, which I think falls into the category of do those little featurettes, so just one-off things. It's like the pause, I'm like, is it lag, or is he putting up another picture from My Secret Identity?
No, that's not on my list, but I contemplating adding that to my list because I thought that was a genius move on their part. Have they pulled those and deleted them from ever? Because I thought they were great, and I threw them on once in a while. I think I caught Aaron with one-on-one.
Nice, really.
Because they were just like so soothing and they were cool to look at, and I thought they were a great idea. I thought.
For all our American viewers that might not know what My Secret Identity, it's the Canadian version of Secret World of Alex Mack. It's exactly the same premise, except it's Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, but we're looking like almost a decade before Alex Mack.
True, but the vibe is roughly the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would argue with you on that one.
He runs fast. She turns into goo.
She turns into goo, though. That was
I love that show.
Like what a concept! Like she turns into goo.
What number are we at?
We're on 4. My number 4 is the Darksaber at the end of Mando season 1. Just bringing that into live action. None of us knowing exactly what was going on. I really liked that what they did there, because they were combining. They were doing what they said, right? They were bringing the animation and the live action together as one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go similar, but like the introduction of characters like Bo-Katan and Thrawn that were like huge in Clone Wars, and then both in Rebels, and then just like the idea of like Thrawn was a book character and now has become an animation and now live action. I'm like, wow. Regardless of how you feel about Thrawn in Ahsoka.
And like Arda Okal over is dressing up as him on ESPN, and they played him on the Jumbotron at a Penguins game recently. So like
that's amazing.
Thrawn is Thrawn made the big time, is what I'll say. Remember Breaker High with Ryan Gosling?
Yep.
Do you remember Breaker High? That's next week. That I'll be
Yep.
inundating ice cream next week with some Breaker High.
No, carry me away.
Hey. Life is a wave. I used to work at a Walmart, and we got like a lot of actors from actors from that, and student bodies would come in.
Student bodies.
Student bodies. They would come into my Walmart and shop. It was my Walmart. I owned it, and it would be like, oh look, it was never Ryan Gosling. He was too good for Walmart.
Mention City Guys, and we have it all complete.
Oh, CITY.
You can see why. Oh man.
I think we're doing the wrong podcast. Did you do your number 4?
Number 4 was Bo-Katan and Thrawn.
Bo-Katan, that's right. The same type of. Mine is Andor. Just taking a chance on a show like Andor, something different from everything else, and just doing it. So I'm going Andor. Yeah, I'm
gonna make that my number 3 too. Like, it was the taking a chance is huge, especially like the actual practical places. Like, there wasn't just, as much as I love the volume, it's great what they created, but like seeing that difference of it being in an actual place, you're like, oh right, that's why you like to shoot in live places.
Which is well, because the Acolyte didn't use the volume, but it looks like it used the volume from the trailer. But Andor is like a complete. And the thing is, they were on like such a hot streak with Mando season 1 and 2. And did Boba Fett come out before Andor? I think it did, and then that kind of ruined people. But like, they were on like a hot streak, and just to take that chance, because when they shot Andor, they spent $230 million on that season. They didn't know that Boba Fett was going to like turn people away like it did. So they were on this hot streak of Mando season 1, 2, which was a very specific style, and they spent all that money to do something different. And I think it worked out. My number 3 is Ahsoka entering live action. Same thing as a Darksaber, but now you're taking a character who was hated and loved and bringing her into live action, and successfully bringing her into live action, and putting her on screen with Luke Skywalker in live action. Also was like it's like they went all out, and they met. She talks about Anakin like it was the same character, and so Ahsoka in live action.
Was that your number 3 or number 2?
2.
My number 2 was going to be the volume, but I feel like we've shouted it out enough, like just what it has done for TV. But my number 2, what was it now? Oh, the absolute flex that was the Book of Boba Fett, where like we told the story and here's season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. I'm like, like genius, love it. I think Book of Boba Fett should get a second season, or he comes into a Mandalorian season, which we probably will not get, and like get his 2 episodes back.
I think like my number 1 is the Book of Boba Fett announcement, because no matter what you even thought, no matter what you thought of the show, they handled that brilliantly. It was like a week or 2 after that investors call where they announced half the book, like that, like Acolyte was announced there. And this wasn't on there, and all of a sudden, they announced it in a way that was the first ever post-credit scene on anything Star Wars. Excuse me. It was Boba Fett entering Jabba's palace, which was a location that everybody knows and loves at this point, right? Where he, last time we saw him, basically was before anything. So then he kills what's his face? I can't remember his name. Tukaluka. What the heck is his name? Oh my gosh, Brock. What's his name? Tukaluka.
What, 2 tubes?
No. What's the guy's name? The guy. Oh my god, no, I can't.
For which one? I totally spaced while you were talking.
Fett kills in Jabba's palace. The Jabba's guy, Nohado Mudara.
The Major Domo.
Oh my god, why can't I think of it? Dale, are you there? Somebody save me on this one.
Bib Fortuna.
Oh my god, my brain was hurting on that one.
Jabba Nobada.
Yeah, Jabba Nobada. My brain was hurting. I'm getting over it. So, like, the whole thing, the setup, the execution, then it's like the Book of Boba Fett's coming, and it was like, what? Like, no matter what you end up thinking of the show, yeah, that was just a great moment. And everyone knows I love the show. I think Brock, you just mentioned a season 2. They could do a season 2, and they could do it in a way where they could win back the people that they lost in season 1, and because he would just be because now he can be a badass because he learned his way to get back to being a badass. So you could do that. There. All right, that's
my number 1. Oh, there we go. You froze there for a second. My number 1, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Mandalorian episode 1, the very end, just before the credits, where it's revealed it's what we called Baby Yoda at the time. But that scene of the shot where Mando is putting his finger out and we see a little green hand come up like this, and it's just like boom, and the birth of the Star Wars TV universe is right there. It's Adam, that Michelangelo painting God and Adam, or Birth of Man, or Birth or whatever. It's just like boom. It's just like it's a touchstone. It's like that is like that freeze frame is on par with that of like Luke hanging in the thing in Empire Strikes Back. It's like, no, that's impossible. Or like Han and Chewie coming out of the Millennium Falcon, aiming their guns in like Tatooine, like space, or Mos Eisley spaceport. Those things that will like be ingrained in when you type in Star Wars, like stuff like that is like, that's huge, you know? If Star Wars did what Marvel does, where they show their Marvel logo and you see scenes from past projects, that's one of those things you would see. It's etched in my brain, so it's like, yeah, it's the birth of Star Wars on TV. Love it.
And that was the moment that cemented The Mandalorian as a hit show.
Like it was McNeely.
Trip McNeely. The minute that scene happened, that show was a hit. Right? Like whatever happened before that episode, inconsequential. That moment is when everybody was like, I'm with you for the next 7 episodes. What do we got? What do we got? And then the next episode was like, we got a lot of Baby Yoda. We got a lot of Baby Yoda. And he might be what you think he might not be. You don't even know. I always think of that Star Wars Celebration before it came out. And just like the panel is up there and everyone's up there. And Favreau's just like, old fans, we got a lot of stuff for you. And it was like, the thing is, like, whatever I was thinking at the time was not Baby Yoda, like even remotely close, right? Like, and I think nobody, obviously, everybody was taken back by it. Everybody was shocked by Baby Yoda, and everybody fell in love with Baby Yoda. And now people hate Baby Yoda because he's cute, but that's, dude, bring Baby
Too late.
Yeah. You
don't like him? Too bad. He's here to stay.
I'm all in on Baby Yoda, man. I like Baby Yoda. Anyway, I think they've done a good. I do fear for teenage Yoda, is what I fear for. I've said that before. I'm not ready for that.
You keep that in the back pocket till there's absolutely nothing else you can do with that character. You skip over that era and just got adult Grogu, and then we're like, we have tapped out this character. But I don't think that'll ever happen because Yoda's been around this entire time, and they have not. Even like in the High Republic, he's there, but he's still Yoda. Yeah,
and make Solo 2 happen is coming up here. I love Solo. Alden Ehrenreich is no Harrison Ford, but he played a great Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Solo. I like Solo. We saw it twice in the theater. I think it's a fun movie. I think I do think though it would have benefited from having cinematography closer to Andor's, where it's a little bit gritty, but not as. I feel like because one of the complaints from Solo, a lot of people said it was so dark that you could barely see things, and it is a pretty dark, dimly lit film. It's like the Batman. You're like, turn the exposure up. Let's go on this one. But it's Solo. It should be a little bit more fun. But anyway, they did what they did. Nobody wanted to go see it because everybody hates Star Wars.
Everybody hates Star Wars. I don't know. I'll go see it.
You did. It's already happened.
Like, Dune 2 is a success. It's just like Star Wars is a more accessible Dune. It's just a little artsier. It's just like, make Andor a movie Make it into a movie, and you pretty much have the same thing. Have
I think that's
gravitas.
And this we talked about. If you had like, is Dune the new Star Wars? Well, maybe Star Wars should look at Dune and be like, you know what people want? A good
Sand.
movie on sand.
Sand.
Everyone complains like, why are we back on Tatooine? Because it sells. Because it sells. There's something about. Look, I've never complained about Tatooine. Like Star Wars and Tatooine, they go together. Like it just makes sense that they're together. But just go back there. Like, you know, you look at, but Dune, honestly though, if you look at it, what do people want? They want a 3-hour long movie with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want to watch Wonka fight Elvis, and you're good to go. If Wonka fights Elvis in the next Star Wars,
I'd argue Timothée Chalamet dating one of the not Kardashians, she's a Kardashian. Like one of the Kardashians was like just a PR move. It's like, because the second you're attached to that, then all of a sudden a new audience comes involved, and it's like, oh, so Wonka, and everyone is chomping at the bit for Wonka and Dune 2. It's like, what a weird sentence. But like, I mean, both are excellent projects, so they speak for themselves.
Wonka was smart. It hit at Christmas, right? Like Wonka was at Christmas, so that was smart. It's a kids movie, Christmas.
Yeah.
You can't miss, right? And then Dune, the first one did very well, and like Dune 2 made me watch Dune 1 all the way through.
Exactly.
Because of the buzz it was getting about how good it was. Like when you hear something is that good, I don't care who you are, it's hard to like not be intrigued by what the hell it is. And when it's a part 2, unfortunately, you've got to sit through part 1, whether you like it or not. Yeah. I ended up liking it, obviously, but like that was the thing. I'm like, I have to get through this because I have to watch this movie, because everybody is saying is because you can watch Dune 2 without watching Dune 1, but I guarantee you will not enjoy it, right? So that was my thought but I don't know, Star Wars, man. I think you're right though. Andor would have been a great motion picture for if you can cut the cost on it. That's the only problem though, is I don't know if you could, but you'd have to somehow cut the cost. But I think Dune was 200 mil. But if you cut Argyle was 200 mil. But if you cut the cost on it, then you don't have to cut the cost. Star Wars is going to make money no matter what. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, 230 mil on a movie, they would eat that up. Mm-hmm. I think the Mando and Grogu movie is only going to be 100. But either way, like you're going to make that back. My point though, Brock, is you've seen Madam Web and you've seen Argyle, and I don't want to compare the two of them, but I want to say this: Madam Web hit $100 million worldwide. That's it. It stopped at $100 million, and it cost $80 million to make. 1 second.
This is where
everybody says it's a massive failure. It's the worst movie ever made. Biggest disaster. Argyle cost $200 million to make, and it made $97 million. It made $3 million less than Madam. Nobody is discussing this, and I'm just like, and like, I haven't seen either movie, so I don't. Movies aside, whether one's better than the other, I'm sure one's better than the other, and I'm sure I know which one is better than the other. But the point is, Madam Web still made more money than Argo. I mean, maybe it was because people want to see what kind of a disaster it was, but it still made more money, and it cost significantly less.
It's like it is informed by like what the media was paying attention to, and for that it was Dakota Johnson is a weird interview. I mean, is anyone shocked by anything? I feel like Dakota Johnson's just notorious for doing strange interviews, but like, yeah, no, like the buzz around Madam Web was because of like people are like, this is something, and then like the cast just said, like, who in their right mind goes to like push a movie? It's like, I don't know. It's like how has Gwyneth Paltrow not been raked over the coals when she was like, I wasn't in Spider-Man? I'm like, yes, you were. It's just like, I think people enjoy the fact of when celebrities not so much are acting bad or like misbehaving. It's more of like, oh, what an absurd thing they just said. That's crazy. Where's Kate Middleton?
I think the Gwyneth Paltrow thing was explained probably a lie, but that she like was just pulled in to do a movie and she didn't know what movie she was doing. Like she was just like, "You're doing this movie." And she
Sure,
did
sure.
it. But no. I know, but she also the difference between those two though is she's not the star of the movie. Like she's like, you know, old, like she's like Madam Web. I think they had hopes for it to be like a franchise, right? Like they were like, we're going to do more, and then she was just like, I don't need. Like she kind of crushed that without them even needing to do anything. But anyway, who cares? I'm just saying. I hear like everyone's crapping on Madam Web, but I'm like, but the Argyle info is right here.
Yeah.
It's like whoever greenlit, I think it was Apple, but whoever it was that greenlit Argyle at 200 million should probably be working at Dairy Queen. Like we're not living like the climate is not chomping at the bit for a $200 million movie that's not called Dune 2 or Spider-Man right now. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just not happening.
Yeah. That's probably what I would watch. That was like an Apple movie or whatever. It was probably Argyle. I'm like, that's what it was.
I think that one was Apple. Yeah. It's like $200 million for a movie. It's like we're not in that world anymore. That's what baffles me. Is I was talking about that. Anyway, that's not what this is about. All right, 318 episodes, bro. 318. We're gonna do a surprise blind ranking now. Top
Surprise.
5. We're gonna top 5 Rebel Scum podcast episodes. I'm just gonna say numbers. 201.
It's like just random numbers that like make up a combination that like that's how you arm all the nukes. It's episode 6, 48, or no, it's like the numbers in the show Lost that like kept the island alive or whatever. Like what? Anyways,
I don't understand that reference.
Anyways.
I've only ever seen the series finale of Lost.
I thought you saw the first and the last.
Oh, I
is
did.
that
I saw
Game
the
of
first
Thrones?
2 episodes.
Yeah,
But I saw the finale without ever seeing the show. And then I saw like years later I watched episode 1 and 2 and I was like, this isn't for me. And I stopped watching it. So maybe I'll watch it again. It'll be like Dune where I'm like, oh, this is all from me. Nah, it wasn't. I was just like, Aaron was like, you're gonna love it. And I put it on, I was like, I don't love this. Can we watch Scrubs? And that was... Pauline saw Argyle and cannot believe that it cost $200 million to make. You know what? Neither can Apple. It was all for Henry Cavill.
Yeah, isn't that...
He cost all $200 million.
Yeah.
He was like, if I'm not Superman anymore or The Witcher, I'm going to need a payday. And they're like, all right, here's $200 million. All right, Brock, anything else you want to say?
No. Thank you for listening or watching or whatever you do with our content.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. It means a lot to us that you joined us on this Wednesday evening. Happy Easter, y'all. Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel Scum.
Scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.